In WWE, every slam, every leap, every roar from the crowd hides a darker truth. They say it's scripted, but what happens when the script breaks? And pain becomes real? From torn muscles to broken necks, from blood to silence, this is the world where the show never stops. Tonight, we step behind the lights and into the danger zone. This is when the pain is real. To the world, it's a show. To them, it's a war zone. Every wrestler who steps into that ring knows the risk: one wrong landing, one mistimed move, and their career could vanish in a heartbeat. Unlike most sports, there are no timeouts here. There's no second chance mid-match. When the lights are on, you perform, even if you're broken inside. It's not ballet. It's not fake. You hit that mat wrong, you don't get up. May 21, 2001, San Jose, California. Triple H, The Game, one of the toughest men in wrestling, goes toe-to-toe in a tag team war. Midway through, disaster strikes. Triple H plants his foot, and his quadriceps muscle snaps off the bone. Most men would collapse. But not him. For 10 more minutes, he fought on, every step like fire through his leg. He finished the match, because in WWE, quitting is not an option. My God, the man's leg is torn, and he's still fighting. Surgery. Months of rehab. But the Game returned, stronger, faster, angrier. That injury became his legend. SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar, a real-life monster, faces Randy Orton. But this wasn't scripted pain. Lesnar's elbow crushes down, hard, real. Blood sprays. The match ends not by pinfall, but by chaos. The crowd didn't know if it was part of the show or a real assault. That's the thin line WWE walks, and sometimes crosses. Then came a night that redefined danger, King of the Ring, 1998. Mankind climbs the cell. The Undertaker meets him at the top. And in 1 second, Mankind is thrown 20 feet down through the announcer's table. Moments later, it gets worse. Mankind climbs back up, only to be chokeslammed through the roof. A tooth pierces through his lip. His shoulder dislocates. Yet he finishes the match. Some injuries aren't visible, they're silent killers. Kurt Angle broke his neck not once, but 4 times. He won an Olympic gold medal with a broken neck. Then wrestled years in WWE with pain that would drop a normal man. His story is pure heartbreak. Years of spears, ladder crashes, and TLC wars tore his spine apart. Doctors warned, one more bump could paralyze him. So he left, tears in his eyes, the belt left behind. But 9 years later, at Royal Rumble 2020, his music hit. The crowd erupted, his neck healed, his spirit unbroken. 1997. Owen Hart delivers a piledriver. Something goes wrong. Stone Cold's head hits the mat wrong, his neck compresses. For seconds, he's paralyzed. But he crawled. And pinned Hart. That crawl made him immortal. That night was when Stone Cold became legend. John Cena's nose explodes after a knee strike. Blood gushes out, yet he keeps fighting, finishing the match with a broken face. Still fights 20 minutes, wins the Universal title. Then vacates it the next night. Pain traded for glory. Not every injury ends with a comeback. Some end with silence. Owen Hart's tragic accident during a live event took the wrestling world by storm. He fell from the rafters, and never stood up again. The arena went quiet. The crowd wept. And WWE changed forever. Over the years, the toll of this business has taken more than just bodies, it's taken lives, minds, and memories. But for every tragedy, there's a comeback story that reignites hope. Daniel Bryan was told he'd never wrestle again. His neck couldn't take it. But after years of rehab and tears, he returned, proving that passion can heal what medicine can't. Cody Rhodes walked into Hell in a Cell with a torn chest, purple, raw, painful, and still fought like a hero. When the lights go out, and the crowd fades away, all that's left is silence. A ring. Stained with sweat, blood, and dreams. This is the battlefield of legend. For decades, we've watched them soar through the air, take unimaginable risks, and crash through pain, all for our entertainment. But behind the roar of the crowd are nights of agony. Nights when every breath burns. When every muscle screams. Nights when the only opponent left is your own body. They walk through those curtains with pride, hiding pain behind smiles, because they know the show must go on. Some walk out heroes. Some never walk out again. These aren't just wrestlers. They're storytellers of pain, warriors of passion, and survivors of a world few can understand. They break bones and barriers. They fall and rise again. They bleed and smile through it. Every scar tells a story. Every tear becomes a trophy. And every comeback is a miracle written in sweat. Undertaker once said, "The ring doesn't lie." And he was right. The ring remembers every fall, every scream, every heartbeat left on that canvas. Because every time those lights come back on, a new warrior steps into the same danger, knowing exactly what it costs. They do it not for fame, not for money, but for the roar, the respect, the story. When the bell rings, pain becomes poetry. Sacrifice becomes legacy. And legends are written, not with ink, but with blood and heartbeats. Because in WWE, they don't just fight opponents. They fight their limits. They fight time. They fight pain. And somehow, through every broken bone and every lost breath, they always rise again. They are more than superstars. They are symbols of resilience. They are the reason we believe that no matter how many times we fall, we can always get back up. And that's why we cheer. Not for the victory, not for the fame, but for the courage to stand again. In the end, pain fades, but the legacy of those who dared to fight through it lasts forever.